Physical activity. Most men don't get enough physical activity, and then they wonder why they feel like crap, why they don't feel like doing anything. Most of the time, the more you do, the more you want to do. The less you do, the less you want to do. A body in motion will stay in motion. A body not taking action doesn't want to take any action. It's kind of a perpetual, what is the name? A perpetual motion machine. The less you do, the less you want to do. You don't feel like doing anything. I know myself, when I go out and work hard all day, I feel like I get more done, actually, than if I sit around the office and work at the desk all day. Even though I'm busy all day, it's not the same thing as taking physical action. We are physical beings. We're multidimensional beings. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And we have to exercise all aspects of ourselves to feel optimal, to operate optimally. You can't just hit one part. You can't just work on your mind all the time and expect yourself to feel good. You can't just work on the physical all the time and expect yourself to feel good. You have to have time for contemplation, meditation. Take a look at your life. Where are you going? What are you doing? How are you contributing? How are you contributing to yourself? Many people think it's always service to others. You are one of those others. You also need to have service to yourself and for yourself. Many people will go out and do something for someone else that they wouldn't even think of doing for themselves. And also what happens when they do this, they tend to get resentful because this person doesn't repay them or doesn't reciprocate in kind. And when you help other people, you can't do it expecting those people to pay you back as you've given to them. You're setting yourself up for resentment, and resentment eats up the container it's stored in. Now, when you're in a relationship with someone, such as a business relationship or an intimate marriage relationship, there should be reciprocal action between the two, and it should even out over time. That doesn't mean that you should get back exactly the amount you give at the time. Sometimes they will give less and you will give more. Sometimes they will give more and you will give less. It's the same way in working. Sometimes my employees give me a great day. Sometimes they don't give me too much of a good day. Okay, but they still get the same pay. Sometimes they get tips. Sometimes they get bonuses. It all depends, but they will get that back somewhere down the line. Same as with me, with clients. I always give more than I'm getting paid for. Okay, and I don't expect it back from the client, but it does come back to me sometime down the road. It's a law of the universe. You may escape the laws of the land, but you will never escape the laws of the universe. Whatever you give out comes back multiplied. Whatever you take is taken from you multiplied. I've experienced both sides of this coin. I prefer to use it to my advantage now. Although it seems like you may be using it to your advantage when you're out there taking, and it doesn't mean you're actually literally stealing from someone. But you can steal from people without ever taking their material possessions. You can steal their peace of mind. You can steal their security. You can steal their ability to trust people by being dishonest with them. There are many ways you can take from people or hurt people or inflict pain and suffering on people without ever literally doing anything to them physically or taking anything from them materially. And all these things come back to you. That's the law of reaping and sowing. What goes around comes around. And many people don't, most people talk about that, but most people don't really live by it. because I think it takes sometimes years for us to realize that it really is true that that's how life works. I'm not sure about you guys, but I was taught to go out there and get what I want, to work hard for what I want. And there is value in working hard and taking a lot of action. I am a man of action. I'm taking action now. But there's also thought. Thought is creative. Thoughts are things. Every action you take will be preceded by a thought. Earlier, about 20 minutes ago, excuse me, I didn't want to do anything. I was doing something, but I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to escape. I wanted to escape taking action. This is just a thought. Now, that thought is a thing, but I don't dwell on that thought. I make myself get up and I take some action, and that action will result in more action. It's a perpetual motion machine. The more you do, the more you want to do. The less you do, the more you sit and waller in, let's say, fear or self-pity or depression, the worse it gets. I've suffered from really some serious depression. I did when I was a kid. In November, a lot of times we wouldn't have any sun here. And my grandma used to say, I would just really get down. I just had no energy to do anything. And later in my life, when I went through a couple of breakups, I'm sure you guys know how that is. If you haven't experienced it, I'm sure you will. But I'm not trying to be negative. It was the best times of my life as far as growth. Because when I was hurting, I was looking for answers. I was searching high and low for answers to relieve the pain and suffering, the mental pain and anguish I was feeling. But I remember times when, excuse me, I had to just make myself get up and go do something. And the energy it took, or it seemed like it took a lot of energy to make myself get up and maybe go down, excuse me, go down and work on, I had an Airbnb at the time. I would go down and just do one or two things, and I would come back up and sit down. And it was like, man, it was terrible just thinking about it. I don't ever want to experience that again. The bright side of that was, through that time, I learned so much about myself, and I was willing to do some things to delve into the innermost being of myself, that I discovered things that were weighing me down, that were holding me back, that I was able to release, that I was able to get rid of, to recognize. I was projecting these things from my past into my present day life, and it was causing me problems. Had I not gone through that dark, what do they call it, the dark night of the soul, I probably wouldn't have searched that deep within myself. So these times are good, although it feels like crap when you're going through it, and it's a living hell. And I've taken medication in the past. I haven't taken anything for years now, but I have. But I've said this before, I don't believe that it helps you if you don't help yourself while you're taking it. For me, it relieved just enough of the depression. I was able to work on myself and to do some exercise, to get some help, group therapy, whatever you want to call it, to where I was able to to get down to the root cause of the problem, because the depression is just a symptom. And the medications only deal with the symptom. I mean, for example, if you break your leg, the pain is so bad, you're going to want to take some kind of medication just so you can tolerate the pain and maybe be able to do some rehab on it, or to be able to rest it, or be able to get through it. But you don't want to continue taking the medication after the pain subsides. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do, and thus they form an addiction to drugs such as Oxycontin, Vicodin, and things like this. All medications and procedures from doctors, physicians, they all have their place. The problem is we sometimes become dependent on them. They're just to help us to get through a time that maybe the pain is too great for us to endure. But just like the pain from the broken leg, the pain is a symptom of the break in the leg. The depression is a symptom of a breakdown of something within you. Now, I've worked with people that were on medications, and I think that's good. They needed that. But what I found is once we worked together and got down to the root causes and were able to eliminate that, they didn't need the medication anymore. They decided to get off of it. Now, when they go to the doctor, many times the doctor will tell him not to get off of it because the doctor wants to help you, and that's all he knows. Most doctors won't take time out to get down to the root cause, to find out why you're feeling these feelings, why you are depressed, why you are despondent, discouraged, and disappointed. A good doctor will, but good doctors are hard to find. Well, I'm not saying the other doctors are bad. They're just doing what they've been taught to do, and they're in a system where they have to get a patient in. They got patients waiting, got to get another one out. It's a numbers game. They have to get as many in as they can. Usually they're working for a larger group, so I'm not blaming the doctors. It takes a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of effort, and a lot of dedication to become a doctor. But actually, you are your own best doctor. Who knows you better than you know yourself? And if you don't know yourself, you need to find out something about yourself, because you are going to be living with yourself for the rest of your life. Become your own best friend. Take care of your body. Take care of your emotional health. Take care of your physical health. Take care of your spiritual health. Whatever that means to you. I believe in God, not the God of religion. God is something for me that I don't even begin to understand. I don't even know what pronoun to put on him, it, whatever. I know that the Latin is partly Spanish and Latin are somewhat intermingled languages. They're similar languages. I'm not sure if Spanish come from Latin, but I know in Spanish they use the pronoun él for him and also for it. So for me, God is more of an it because I don't understand whether it's feminine, masculine. To me, it's an energy. Now, that's my belief, and I believe in a lot of the teachings that are in the Bible, but I don't look at them so much in a literal religious sense. I look at them more in a metaphysical sense. Now, that's what works for me. Whatever works for you is what you need to cultivate, because it's a great asset to believe in something greater than yourself when things don't seem to be going your way. You can have a trust in nature, in the universe, in life, in divinity, universal mind, higher self, whatever you call it, because in all of our lives, there comes a time where we can't figure out what to do. And we just have to sit back and say, okay, this is going to work out. I trust that there's something greater than me here that knows what's best for me. Because I don't know about you guys, but many times in my life, I wanted something so bad. I wanted it so bad. It was actually a couple of my marriages. I wanted things to work out. I went to counseling, I did this, I did that, I did everything that I knew, and it just didn't work. Because it takes two people. When the other person doesn't want it to work, there's nothing you can do. And actually, for us men, the more we try to make a relationship work, it actually makes things worse, usually. We need to make ourselves better, work on ourselves, and that relationship will take care of itself. And if you're supposed to do something, it will be presented to you. You won't have to try to figure it out. And the figuring out, that comes from this small conscious mind. The subconscious mind is what really runs our life. Studies show that less than 5% of what you do during the day is done by the conscious mind. This part here, 2 + 2 = 4. The 95% that's done is done by your subconscious mind. Now, you can program that subconscious with the conscious mind through repetition, through emotion, through visualization. But this takes time. The person you are today did not become overnight. It took years of input, your own self-talk, and what other people have told you, your parents included, the formidable years, the impression period between ages 0 and 7, to make you the man you are today. And if there's something you don't like about who you are, you can change that through affirmations, visualization, emotionalization of your affirmations and your visions. This imprints the subconscious mind, and you'll find yourself doing things throughout the day that bring to you what you want, or create, or how do I say, turn you into the person you want to become. If you continue to see yourself as that person, you will eventually see yourself taking the literal actions of that very person and starting to think like the person you want to be. It's all done within you, subjectively, and eventually it becomes real in the objective world. Everything is created within you, so you must remain emotionally healthy to create the life that you desire. What are you thinking about during the day? I talk about this all the time. Think about what you're thinking about. What are you thinking about during the day? Are you angry at people? Are you criticizing people who live their life a different way than you do? Are you thinking that they're bad, or they're wrong, or they're stupid, or they're ignorant? All these thoughts come back like a boomerang to hurt you and poison you. It's like you have a kingdom within you. It's within your mind. Your mind is your kingdom. What are you allowing in there? It's like letting dirty water flow into you by thinking about these things. I'm not saying to deny the reality of the objective world. What I'm saying is to accept it as a current reality, but don't dwell on the negative or what you believe are the negative aspects of it. Because as I've said many times in my life, I've thought something was bad and it turned out to be good. It's very difficult for us to know the difference between bad and good. What do you say, Mark? That's easy. Is it now? As I said, how many times in your life have you got something you wanted so badly, but then later, maybe a car, and it turns out to be a lemon? And then later you think, God, I wish I didn't have this car. Man, this thing is a piece of junk. Or you wanted a girl. Maybe you wanted her so badly that you guys got together and you married her. Now you wish you were single. You thought that would be the best thing in your life. Now it turns out it's a disaster, it's a nightmare, and you wish somehow you could get out of it. But you have a couple kids, you've been married 5 or 6 years, you have a house, and you're going to lose everything. You wanted that so bad. Now you have it. You pushed to get it. You figured out how you were going to make it happen. And here you are. And other times, when you tried to get something and you didn't get it, and later on down the road you got something better. That was actually your higher self, the bigger part of you, your subconscious mind, protecting you from the little self, the little I, your conscious mind that tries to figure everything out. Because I'm sure there have been times in your life where you tried to get something, and no matter what you did, it just didn't work out. But to recognize these patterns and these things, you have to take time to contemplate your life and quit blaming everyone else for your problems. And take credit, or take the blame for your problems and take credit for your victories. When was the last time you complimented yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, you're fucking great, man. Man, look at the things you've done in your life. Make a list of what you've accomplished in your life. Everybody has accomplished something. If nothing more than helping someone out that fell down or that needed some financial help or a little encouragement. Everyone has a value. Do you recognize the value in yourself? Remember, whatever you focus on grows in your experience. So if you're focusing on the value, the greatness, the wonderful person that you are, that lives within you, that will grow in your outer world, in your experience, that will manifest in your life. But if you're focusing on your mistakes, your downfalls, your discouragements, your failures, in such a way that you beat yourself up and you think you're nothing, guess what? Whatever you focus on grows. You're becoming more and more of that. Start with something little that you are good at, that you succeeded in, and think about that and focus on that, and that will grow into something great. We all have greatness within us, but only each of us individually can nurture and cultivate that greatness and bring it out into the world for others to see. I don't know why I'm here today talking to you. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I was going to be doing this, I would have said, no, I had no idea, but here I am. I found in life that by encouraging others and helping others to succeed, that it comes back to me multiplied, because I too want to be successful. But there's a feeling I get from helping people, from encouraging people, from lifting people up, from inspiring people, that far surpasses anything I've ever experienced in my life. And we're all looking for a feeling. Now, I don't believe in feels before reals, but we're all looking for a feeling. If you buy that new Lamborghini, that new car, whatever it is, the Impala, whatever, you're looking for a feeling. Sure, you want something to drive to work, but you buy the feeling it's going to give you. Maybe a feeling of security, a feeling of prestige if it's a really nice car. If you want a lot of money, you're looking for the feeling of security, the feeling of power, of prestige, of status. That's what you really want. And you think that this money, this car, this woman, whatever it happens to be, is going to give you that. But the inverse, what is it called? Inverse transformation, I think is what they call it. If having that is going to give you the feeling, then the reverse is true. If you have the feeling, that's going to give you what you desire. If you feel as if you already have something and maintain that long enough, that feeling will somehow lead you to your desires, or the equivalent of what you desire, or something better. It makes me think of Nikola Tesla. I'm going to read this off the wall, if I could see it. If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Hold the thoughts for a prolonged period of time and visualize. I gotta put my glasses on, I can't see it. It's quite a distance away. Let me get them out here. All right, that's a little better. And practice becoming the vibrational match, the feeling of as if you already have something. The vibrational match to what you want. It's in every spiritual text ever written. That's Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest scientists of all times, is telling you to feel as if you already have something. According to your faith, be it unto you. Whatever you desire, believe that you have it, and it shall be yours. If you really have something, you have a feeling of having it. So if you can conjure, sounds like an old witch's brew. If you can conjure, if you can create the feeling within you. Now, I'm not talking about some magic that if you create the feeling, it's going to magically appear in your world. What this does, when you do this over and over and over again, repetitiously, is that a word? Repetitiously, continuously, getting that feeling, it will cause something in you, the bigger part of you, the higher self, the subconscious, to move you toward this. By taking certain actions, you will find yourself coming upon bridges of incidences that will bring you to your desired goal. One of the things I like to do is speak, and I want to further my speaking career. So I have that written down as a goal, and I see myself sometimes speaking in front of large crowds. Well, I do it basically on a daily basis. And I happened to be at a meeting the other night, and I was helping someone there, and this other gentleman walked up to me and I gave my business card to the person I was helping so he could call me. And he just happened to see that I had speaking on there. And this man is a member of the National Speakers Association, which I didn't even know it existed. I've heard of Toastmasters, which I tried to get into here a while back, but during the health crisis thing, they were all closed down. So But he invited me to come to the meeting of the National Speakers Association, so I'm going to go. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. It's because I was honed in on that. And you will find yourself in right places at the right time. This is what people call lucky, and it's not luck at all. You have a device within you it's like a heat-seeking missile. Once you get your direction zeroed in on something that you desire and think about it as if you already are, start seeing yourself in your mind's eye doing these things and feeling the feelings you would have. In my case, it's in front of people speaking, which makes me nervous, but it also makes me excited. And you will start having these bridges of incidences come up where the opportunity arises. You walk across these bridges to the opportunity that's presented to you. This is the way it works when you have a written goal and you think about it at least twice a day as if it's already come to pass. And throughout the day, maybe at times when you don't feel like it's ever going to happen. You visualize yourself, you emotionalize yourself, you imagine, you pretend you already are that person. Unless you become his children, you will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Well, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's not out there. It's within your mind. You are the king of that kingdom. Okay, and you can build anything in there that you want. If you're a king of a kingdom, you have complete control over that kingdom, right? And thus, it's the same way with this kingdom. But you can create in there whatever you like, and whatever is within will eventually come on the without. That's why it's so important to be thinking about what you're thinking about. If you're thinking angry thoughts about people, whatever your justification is, you need to clean that up, because that's poison. That's pollution in your kingdom, and it will pollute your world. If you're having arguments in your head, which most people do every day with someone you don't like, it's a sure way to bring on dissension and argumentative people into your life. Maybe not the exact one you're arguing with, but people will give you a hard time. You will have a difficult time. Everything in your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Now, a lot of people believe that's too esoteric, but if you take time to contemplate this principle that I'm talking about, you will find that it's true. But you have to be objective, and you have to take other people out of the equation as far as blaming them, because if you're blaming, that means you're saying you're a victim. You had no power in the situation. But if you think about it, some of you watch horrible things on TV and movies all day long. Well, maybe not all day, but a lot. You watch some of these shows where people are getting shot and killed, the violence. Now, that's a real good way to bring violence into your life. You may not ever bring anybody into your life that's going to kill you or kidnap you or anything like that, but it will bring dissension and argumentative people. It will bring problems into your life. It may evolve itself just a flat tire being broke down the highway, someone with road rage yelling at you. Because if you're constantly feeding your mind with violence and things that you really wouldn't want in your world, in your outer world, you will eventually manifest that. Everything that you are is because of input into your kingdom, into your mind. But you have control over that. You can regulate what comes in there. These things do make a difference. I've quit watching movies before because it really emotionally got to me. Now, there are certain things I can watch, like the Vikings, and that type of violence does not bother me for some reason. But some of the modern day violence does bother me, so I can't watch it. Now, maybe you can watch the modern day violence and it doesn't affect you emotionally. But you can't watch maybe the Viking type violence because that does bother you. You have to measure how it affects you emotionally. If you're watching something and it really bothers you emotionally inside, I would definitely recommend not watching too much of that, because it's affecting you, it's imprinting you on an emotional level, and too much of that will bring those types of things into your life. As I said, maybe not as severe as what you're watching, but it will bring things into your life that make you uncomfortable because you're feeling this discomfort. And you're feeling this discomfort from an image and image and verbal things coming into your mind. Very important. People don't pay much attention to that, but it's very important. Well, that's all I have time for today. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com, half off for the month of September on my consulting fees. If you need help with, if you're going through a divorce, having relationship problems, business problems, anything that you need help with, I have a lot of experience in life that I'd be glad to share with you that may get you guided down the right path. I believe many times people don't really need me to actually advise them. I can do that, but by telling me and me helping you to look within yourself, you have the answers in there. Sometimes we just need someone to reflect things back to us so we can discover what we already know we need to do, but we just can't seem to bring it out into the open. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can check me out on YouTube at Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can check me out on Instagram at Mark's Inspiration. What else? Check out my books on Amazon. I know they will be of value to you. I have many, many life experiences, many adventures, and you can learn from my mistakes and my successes. Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within. And I'm working on a third book. I've been working on it for over a year, so maybe I'll get it done someday. All right, so thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. 1,462 subscribers. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you for joining, and we got a great future. Take care.